So these are basically the same problems as yesterday, but we're going to do a few more examples. So first we're going to classify the polynomial and describe the end behaviors. So this highest degree is a 5, which would make it quintic. And it has 4 terms. Wow. Oh, that was the end. That's just really sloppy, sorry. So it's just a quintic polynomial. And then the end behavior, this is a negative number out front, which means it's going to end going down. And then it's to the 5th power, so it's odd, which means they do opposite things. So it's going to be up first and then down. Alrighty, so just like yesterday, we're learning about solving polynomial equations. We're going to factor them to solve and find our real and imaginary numbers. So our first one here, we would factor out our greatest common factor first, which is going to be 2x. That leaves us with x squared minus 2x minus 3. And then our factors of -3 that add to -2 would be -3 and +1. And then we'll just set everything equal to 0 and solve it. So we set everything equal to 0, and then that would make x 0, 3, and -1 when we solve each of those. On 2, we're going to set this whole thing equal to 0 first before we factor. So x to the 4th minus 8x squared. And we're adding that 15 over, so plus 15 equals 0. Then our factors of 15 that add to -8 are -5 and -3. Since it's x to the 4th power, we're going to have x squared when we factor it instead of just x. So it'll be x squared minus 5, x squared minus 3. We'll set each of those equal to 0. And then we would add the 5 over and square root it. So x is positive or negative square root 5. Add this 3 over, square root it. X is positive or negative square root 3. So that gives us 4 answers. Positive square root 5, negative square root 5, positive square root 3, negative square root 3. There should be 4 answers because this was to the 4th power originally. 3, same type of thing. We're going to set it equal to 0 before we factor it. Bring the 15 over. X to the 4th plus 2x squared minus 15 equals 0. Factors of -15 then that add to 2 are positive 5 and -3. This is x to the 4th, so we'll use x squared instead of just x. So x squared plus 5, x squared minus 3, and then we're going to set each of those equal to 0 and solve. So we would subtract the 5 over and then square root it. When you square root a negative, it'd be positive or negative I root 5. And then over here we add the 3 over and square root it. So x is positive or negative square root of 3. And those are our 4 answers. Positive square root 3, negative square root 3, positive I root 5, and negative I root 5. All right, number 4 should have 3 answers because it's to the 3rd power. This is a difference of cubes. So when we factor it, the cubed root of x cubed is x. The cubed root of 27 is 3. And then we do this number squared. So x squared, multiply these together, so 3x. And then square this number, which would be 9. For our signs, it's same, opposite, plus. We set each thing equal to 0, which makes x 3. This one, there's no factors of 9 that add to 3, so we have to use the quadratic formula. So a will be 1, b is 3, c is 9, and then we sing our lovely song. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If we simplify under the radical, 3 squared is 9, 4 times 9 is 36, so 9 minus 36. We have negative 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 27 over 2 times 1, which is 2. 27 can divide by 9 and 3, and 9 is a perfect square. Square root of 9 is 3. So this is going to become negative 3 plus or minus 3i root 3, because the square root of 9 is 3. So that 3 got to come out. Over 2. Not a very pretty answer, but it can't simplify anymore. So that is it.